Hello and welcome to It's Not That Bad Podcast, optimistic movie reviews for optimistic people. Here with your host today, Simone LaRue.
And that's Chad Ekowitz.
Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Are you excited? I'm excited.
Soundtrack.
Yeah, what? Boom, in the house we've got unicorns, cocaine, dancing nuns. Is that exciting enough for you now? Are we exciting anymore?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys. Now that that's out of the way, we can explain ourselves on this sleepy Tuesday that's no longer so sleepy.
No,
that was in
certainly
response to a negative review that we got, our first ever negative review that we ever got. Which was also very
that
exciting.
We know of.
We're controversial now, aren't we, Simone?
Yes, I think that makes us controversial.
Yeah. So that was just in response to the gentleman or lady, I'm not sexist, who goes by the name of Cheese and Onion Crisps, who said that the It's Not That Bad podcast is incredibly boring.
It is that bad, was their comment as well.
So there you go. So I'm hoping that intro was a bit more exciting for you, and I've got some ideas. I don't know how these will do for you, but I've released a live cougar somewhere in my house. So at any point he could come in and eat me.
You never know. Oh, cougar the animal, not an older woman.
Oh, that would have been even better.
That would be more exciting.
Her name's Janice, and she
very nice lady.
She exclusively listens to Jolene by Dolly Parton.
Oh, she sounds great.
What have you done your side to excite and up the atmosphere of this podcast, this boring podcast?
Boring podcast. Well, you guys can't see it, but I have a clown that is going to have to dance in front of me this entire podcast, and he's not allowed to stop.
That seems fair.
I mean, he's crying now, but he'll get over it.
He will, and we'll cut out the sounds of
Will
his,
the clown
his
murder
weeping.
me by the end of the podcast? Stay tuned.
That's the exciting bit, really.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't listened to this podcast before and you don't know whether it's boring or not yet, this is the podcast where we review 2 movies every week that weren't critically acclaimed, and we tell you, hey, they're not that bad.
They're not that bad.
They're doing all right.
And we're not as salty as we just came off.
Yeah, seriously, we're not salty. We really appreciate any comments that you guys give, good or bad. It helps us sort of be better podcasters.
Learn and grow.
Hence the clown, hence the cougar. Now, we're better podcasters for it.
But also, guys, please pick better crisp flavors. Cheese and onion?
Yeah.
Really? Is that, what you want to identify as?
I mean, can you think of a more basic flavor apart from, Ready Salted?
I mean, but Ready Salted has, a classic feel to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I get you.
Maybe you've got an exciting dip that you want to pair it
Ooh.
with. But, cheese and onion, it's kind of it feels like something that a serial killer would say is their favorite chip, just to, sound like a normal person.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the most sort of reliable, sort of, it's the back to basics crisp.
It's fine. It's not spicy, it's not acidic, it's
just there.
It's 2 very reliable flavors.
It exists, and that's all that there is for it. What crisp flavor are you, Simone? What would you classify yourself as?
Well, my favorite crisp flavor is salt and vinegar. I'm a salt and vinegar girl.
Bold.
Yeah, and if my mouth isn't burning by the end of eating salt and vinegar chips, they are not enough.
Wow, that is a hot take. I mean, that in itself is rather controversial. I hate salt and vinegar. I just don't believe in vinegar as a flavor.
Yeah, but at least it's interesting.
It is interesting. People have opinions about it. Unlike not salt and vinegar. Unlike cheese and onion, which is just everyone likes cheese and onion.
No one will say no, but no one will say enthusiastically yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I describe myself as a prawn cocktail man, to be honest.
Oh,
yeah.
Exotic.
I like the foreign feel. I enjoy sort of Asiatic tastes, and prawn cocktail is always a good favorite.
Ooh, what do you think of prawn chips? Those puffy ones. Love those.
Oh, life changing, really.
I can go to town on those.
You can see why England took over China.
And pilfered it.
And just completely ruined it. Colonialism.
Speaking of whitewashing, let's talk about the movies that we're doing today.
Perfect segue. So what movie are you doing, Simone?
I am doing 2015's Pan. The origin story no one asked for.
And yet we all got.
Here we are.
Oh, man. And this week I am going to be doing the critically acclaimed, beautifully filmed and directed Bulletproof Monk. Could not think of a better film.
It is such a Friday action night movie.
Right?
It is like, I'm amazed I haven't seen it. I hadn't seen it before.
I think this and The Gold Medallion are sort of the big contenders for terrible fighting kung fu movies from the 2000s.
Look, I love a good kung fu movie. You know, I mean, you can't think about it as the thing. Like, you can't be like, hang on, physically, how would that hurt someone? Like, you just have to lean in. You have to be like, of course she's balancing on his sword.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it.
It's fine.
You don't look at old kung fu movies and go, well, that seems improbable. You just go, yeah, that man will rip out his heart with his hands. Yeah. That's fine.
It's like watching a zombie movie. Like, if you start questioning the zombies, the whole thing falls apart, and you don't need to do it.
Exactly. So, let's see who goes first. So, tell me, what are you drinking, Simone?
I'm drinking a Hansa.
Ooh.
It is from a can. A man can.
Man can.
The sexist name.
I know, it's horrible. We'll change that to the person can.
The thirsty girl can.
The we all can.
The not all men can.
The all men can, but should they?
All men can, but women too.
I love it. We should be politicians.
I think so too. And it comes in at a cool 4.5%.
Beautiful.
Well, what are you drinking?
Well, I have to study. I've got exactly 28 days until my exams from the day of recording of this.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I'm happy with the amount of time I've got, but I do need to study after this, so I can't do that while inebriated. Right. So I'm drinking a cool glass of cranberry and mixed berry squash.
Oh, squash.
Squash. So it's very tasty, it's very refreshing, and I guess you win. Unfortunately for the next, 2 or 3 weeks of podcasting, you're going to win every time.
Oh, well, we'll just take turns then, otherwise it's no fun.
Exactly. I mean, eventually one day once I've finished exams and things, we can go heavy and I'll be like, oh, well, I'm doing cocaine this week, so I guess I win.
You win every time.
Then the podcast will be real exciting.
Isn't there, so much cocaine in circulation in London that, it's literally, in the water supply in very trace amounts?
No ways.
Yeah.
That sounds like the best fact I'm going to spend a long time researching after this.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, London.
I mean, it would explain a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you go first, and I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on Pan.
Friends, I don't have a synopsis prepared because I bawled on the weekend and I got my hair done before I did this podcast recording, which was so worth it, so all of you can see.
It's to be honest with you, our dear listeners, she's looking hella fresh.
It looks bomb.
It was definitely worth it.
I'm really chuffed with it.
Yeah, as you should be. She's looking fierce, guys. As we said in the High Strung episode, sexy fierce.
Sexy fierce. Thank you. That's always my goal. Too bad I have Disney princess eyes.
I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with Disney princess eyes. What are you saying?
I know, but you can't look like sexy fierce with Disney princess eyes. You just look adorable if you try to look fierce. It's a problem.
That is fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I get you.
Okay, let me tell you all about Pan.
I'm so ready. If you can tell me all about Pan.
I'm gonna try. Okay, so Pan is an origin story for the more popular Peter Pan.
Oh.
It follows Peter, an orphan, played by Levi Miller, at an orphanage. He and his friend, Nibs, played by Lewis McDougall, realize that orphans are going missing from the orphanage. One night, they decide to stay up and check it out. They find out that pirates are coming in the middle of the night and abducting children by rappelling into the orphanage and stealing them away. Peter, too, gets abducted. He's transported to Neverland, where Blackbeard, played by Hugh Jackman, has put orphans from all different times, all different countries, all different places to work mining the mountains for fairy dust.
Oh, picks them.
What he does with the fairy dust, no one is sure, but working conditions are really tough, and every now and again he likes to make an example of an orphan by punishing them so everybody works much harder. Peter eventually becomes one of these unfortunate orphans to get made an example of after he tries to fight back for a piece of fairy dust he finds, even though his job is literally to hand over whatever fairy dust he finds. Yeah. When he is pushed off the ledge, he finds out that he can fly.
He can fly!
He can fly! He is carted back to Blackbeard's cabin, where Blackbeard tells him about a union between a human woman and a fairy prince, and how the prophecy says that that would bring about a child who could fly, and a child who would eventually be able to bring down Blackbeard's reign. Blackbeard is understandably hesitant to let Peter out of his sight, and then immediately puts him in prison out of his sight. It is in prison that Peter meets James Hook, played by Garrett Hedlund. Together, the two make a daring escape. They snag Sam Smeagol, or Mr. Smee, played by Adil Akhtar, and they launch off into the jungle beyond the mines. There, they meet the natives, and especially the native princess, Tiger Lily, played by Rooney Mara. The natives soon realize that Peter might be the Pan, or the warrior that they have been waiting for to fulfill the prophecy, based on the little Pan necklace that he has, that was given to him by his mother when she left him at the orphanage. They explain that his mother, Mary, had to leave him at the orphanage so that he would be safe and grow up strong, and then come back and save Neverland. Unbeknownst to them, Hook has followed them to the jungle. After a big battle, he interrogates Tiger Lily, and to see Tiger Lily not get hurt, Hook explains that the natives have a map and they know exactly where the rest of the fairies are hiding. Fortunately, the gang escapes and they decide to head to the fairies themselves, not realizing that, yes, Blackbeard is still following.
Because, I mean, obviously yeah. He would still be following them. But, yeah. Okay, yeah, guys, well done.
After some shit with, mermaids and a couple of other things, they eventually find the fairies. Hook leaps out, demands that he opens the fairy door, goes inside, and then immediately gets attacked by all the fairies. The fairies fuck up his entire pirate force, and eventually Hook is destroyed. Peter gets to have a tearful reunion with, the soul of his mother.
You mean Blackbeard, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, what did I say? Hook.
You said Hook. I mean, it's a very common... I mean, how could you not? It's Pan and Hook.
I mean, you'd think the bad guy here would be Hook. No, Hook and Tiger Lily kind of have a cute little...
Well, I want to talk about that, but I want... Yeah, I want you to finish first.
So yeah, Blackbeard is defeated, Neverland is freed, we are set up for a sequel that will never happen because we still don't know how Hook lost his hand, we don't know how Hook and Peter become enemies, we don't know any of that. All we know is that we have not quite reached the beginning of J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. The end.
Well done. I mean... That was tough to get through.
I mean, there's not much of a plot to it.
But that makes it harder, because it's so very loose.
Yeah.
So, can we first talk about the fact that Blackbeard, played by Hugh Jackman, looks amazingly like Pennywise from It?
Yes, the outfit and all.
It felt very Pennywise-y, especially when he jumps up on, the ship thing, when he's singing, "Now That's What I Call Teen Spirit," which was so painful.
It is heartbreaking. The whole movie... I think the reason it didn't do well, because visually I think it's really pretty. The whole reason it didn't do well is because it just feels soulless from the very beginning. You know, you're going through emotions and you're like, I should be enjoying this. This should be an interesting scene. This should be, something exciting. But it's not.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my god, are the pirates seriously singing Nirvana right now? And then later on they're singing the Ramones, and you're like, to what end?
It was so Baz Luhrmann-y. Why does everyone know the words? What's the point? You could have saved so much budget if you had just taken those two songs out. You could have used it on the running scenes, because the running scenes through the green screen, where it was just literally old school green screen running, where they're just on the spot chuckling their arms around. It was beautiful to watch, really. Couldn't afford a treadmill.
My god, the whole thing, you're just I'm trying to pinpoint why it felt so empty.
But that's the thing, it just was so empty. It was just, oh, well, we're gonna throw in names that you'll recognize, like Peter Pan, like Hook, like Blackbeard, like Shmee.
And some little winks and a nod to the original content.
And then we'll just hope that we have a movie after this.
And I didn't understand the accent that Hook did. He tried to sound extra American, And also, in Peter Pan, Hook is British.
Yeah, it makes very little sense.
He was educated at Eton.
It makes very little sense, that, and the fact that, you know, even Peter's accent and his friend Nibbins, or whatever his name is, their accents were superb.
It's just Nibs, but Nibbins is so much funnier.
Their accents are great in the beginning, where it's just like, oh, we gotta get another bowl of porridge. And it's like, oh, okay, we're doing
Where's
this.
the bacon?
That fat nun's been stealing it. Alright. Can we not? Alright, British people get a bad rap as it is. Can we...
I don't, like, are we still doing the horrible orphanage cliche? Like, it was very Matilda. I know Matilda wasn't about an orphanage, but, like, it was very much, like, That's the thing, like, everything was just so stereotypical.
Yeah. It was... I know this is really mean on Cara Delevingne, and, like, believe me...
God, Cara.
Everyone, I love Cara Delevingne. She's the most beautiful human being I've ever seen in my entire life.
Not an actress, though.
You know, it kind of, like, when she popped up as all of the mermaids, I was sort of like, of course she's in this film. Like,
yeah.
This film wouldn't be complete without a show up from her, really.
But she didn't have to act in this, so...
I mean, does she ever? I know that's some pretty salty stuff, but,
Look, nobody's over Suicide Squad yet.
No, I think we're all still burnt. Still terribly, terribly burnt. Can I tell you my favourite joke from this film?
Please.
That may actually just be my favourite joke of all time?
Oh.
So Pan gets kidnapped, he's on the ship, right?
Uh-huh.
And the ship's, like, doing all of its fuckery.
Yeah.
And the black pirate sub-captain, I don't know what you'd call him.
First mate?
Is like, first mate, thank you, you know nautical things.
Thanks.
So he's like, to Pan, he's like, oh, you better hold on, your precious cargo. And Pan goes, oh, is it my mother? And the guy goes, and that is fucking beautiful.
It really speaks to the whole movie, though. Like, it's always people, like, making these really fucking weird assumptions, and the audience being like, what?
It was so perfect, and I couldn't stop laughing at that joke. Just this horrible man billowing in your face. Oh, is it my mother? Absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be a better joke.
So let's talk about the very white tiger lily.
Oh, yeah. So tell me those things, please.
I mean, look, the original Peter Pan cartoon isn't exactly flattering to Native Americans. Like, it's a pretty horrendously racist song. I understand that. But also, you have a chance to give yourself a main character of color. And you're like, you know what? Let's not do any of that. And let's not bring any other cultures into this. We're just gonna make it all up and get a white girl in there. Because everybody knows no culture means white girl. And made up culture means white girl.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But now she's in a boob tube. She's got face paint.
Exactly, which makes her ethnic enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's Disney ethnic.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
You know, Disney have a quota of, like, 2 people of color per film. Yeah. Anything more than that, and it's really problematic.
I mean, Black Panther was Disney, technically.
Technically, yeah, but you know that Walt Disney, the floating head, is just like,
rolling in his grave.
I'm not happy about this.
Or his cryo chamber, as the case may be.
I would love that. Yes, I wanted... Talking about good old white tiger lily. So, she has a thing with Hook, right?
Completely incomprehensible.
They, talking about the age difference, like, later in the, in the real Peter Pan, you know, she's a forever kid, or whatever they're called. Lost child.
Is she?
Is she not? I thought she was.
No, she's not a lost boy. She's the chief's daughter, so she's just like a native princess on Neverland.
Oh, okay. But she's a child, though, is she not?
Yes, in the original one. But apparently they're not too, like, fussed about it. Hook is American in this.
I saw that and I was like, well, this seems wrong in terms of age appropriateness. This feels a bit statutory rapey to me. But, you know, maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's how Hook and Pan became enemies, because Pan was like, dude, you could go to jail for this. Hook's like, oh, yee-haw, nah, I couldn't. I'll be absolutely fine. And then Pan actually just rats him out to the feds, and he has to go to jail. And that's what happens.
I mean, even then, like, he's known her for, like, 3 hot seconds, and he, like, folds to Hook's interrogation. He's like, I just couldn't see you get hurt. And it's like, you've known her for 5 minutes, guy.
He's fallen deep. You can't question love that deep, you know?
Oh, my God.
It's, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Can we also retire the plot point that, you know, because the plot point that if we had told you the truth, you wouldn't have fulfilled your destiny thing? That trope is so done. Like, you know, they tell Pan that his mum is still alive so that he'll go and do the thing he's supposed to do. I feel like, regardless of whether he knew, he would have done it anyway. You can write around that.
What else has he got to do? He's literally an orphan in Neverland. Like, what's his alternative plan?
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, oh, so Blackbeard killed your mum. Why don't you avenge her death? Yeah, I'm on board now.
It was a completely pointless plot point. The whole thing was a pointless plot point.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you think could have saved it then?
My scene that could have saved it? My God. I don't know. Like, the whole movie is so depressingly uninspired. I don't know. I don't know if a single scene could have. Yeah, I think Peter Pan should have had an American accent. Like, I know he comes from a British orphanage, but they really could have changed that in a hot second.
I mean, they did it with Hook.
Yeah, because, like, a lot of the quippy lines and stuff he says are clearly Americanisms.
Uh-huh. And
he says them in, like, a British accent. And it just sounds so off. And I get it, he's supposed to be this, like, Oliver Twist type character, but then he's like, oh, come on! And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It just, like, it completely ruins the character. It's so bizarre. So yeah, I think he should have been American, and I think they could have gotten rid of the whole orphanage scene. It was so dumb.
It was so pointless. Like,
all of it.
Who cares?
Who cares? It means nothing.
Who cares? Yeah. And I mean, that sort of feeds in, like what you're saying there, it sort of feeds into my scene that could have saved it, which was basically just, I really don't care about this plot. I would have rather seen an origin story where Pan and Hook stop being friends.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a hell of a lot better film.
There.
Like, who cares about Blackbeard? Who gives a shit? Like,
you just made up a whole bunch of characters I don't care about. Yeah,
just, like, make Hugh Jackman Hook so that you've got Hugh Jackman in the film, because clearly you just wanted Hugh Jackman in the film.
Yeah.
And have him play Hook, and we've got a film. Boom. Fine. Boom. Take out, now that's what I call teen spirit. Get rid of that whole shit.
God, yes. Get rid of all of that.
And we're happy.
I'm such a big fan of Hugh Jackman. I don't know, like, what break in reality everybody had when they agreed to this movie. Because I'm about to tell you about the director. This is actually a perfect segue. So, this director is really fucking good.
Okay.
His name is Joe Wright. You have seen his work for sure. He did Pride and Prejudice. He did Atonement. He did The Soloist. He did Hannah. He did Anna Karenina.
Wow.
He did The Darkest Hour, which, as you know, is one of my favorite movies to come out of 2017. He did a Black Mirror episode, Nosedive. So, like, really fucking good stuff.
That is amazing.
Like, he's a really fucking good director.
Like, properly highly sought after, clearly.
Yeah. Like, he won the Best Picture in 2017. And, you know, Pride and Prejudice was great. Atonement won a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
Hannah is low-key such a good movie. Like, I don't understand what break in reality he had.
Where he was just like, yes, let's do this film.
Like,
outrageous.
Was some producer out there just being like, I don't know, paying everybody fuck tons of money to be in this ridiculous project?
I think so, because, I mean, usually Hugh Jackman chooses good scripts. I don't think there's a lot of movies that he's done that you would be like, okay, yeah, this is pretty terrible.
I mean, look, some of the Wolverine sequels, anything that wasn't the original Wolverine was pretty atrocious. Oh, and obviously Logan.
Wait, now, was that a really controversial statement about Logan being bad?
No, I really like Logan.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
cool.
The other Wolverine sequels, like The Wolverine and whatever. Like, that was horrible.
That was pretty atrocious. Yeah, I was a bit worried that you were coming after Logan hard.
No,
in a really...
my God. I mean, I'm mad at it because it really made me cry.
Yeah, no doubt. But I thought you were gonna say something incredibly controversial there, and we would have had to fight and stop being friends. No. Okay, we're safe. Good. Well, that is really surprising about this director. Like, obviously someone had, you know, some fucking favor to pull from all of these people, and they just pulled it together.
I'm trying to, like, read the trivia and try to understand it. Apparently Runamara really regrets playing Tiger Lily.
I mean...
And she says, quote, "I really hate that I am on that side of the whitewashing conversation. I really do. I don't want to ever be on that side of it again. I can understand why people were upset and frustrated. Do I think all 4 of the main people in the film should have been white with blonde hair and blue eyes? No. I think there should have been some diversity." Wow. So, I mean, bare minimum there.
She's not wrong. And, at least she's apologized for it. There's so many actors and things who double down.
Apparently, the director made this for his son.
Oh, that's kind of sweet, in a weird way.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same reason that Johnny Depp kept doing Pirates of the Caribbean, was for his kid.
Oh, really?
Apparently, Joe Wright's parents ran a puppet theater, so he sees Pan as an opportunity to go back to the pure fantasy of his childhood.
Right, okay.
Okay.
What a boring childhood that man had. There's no semblance, there's no real rhyme or reason to this film.
There's no explanation for this movie.
No, it just happened. But I'm glad we watched it. It's something that we've done, and now we know it exists, and we know that we know that Hugh Jackman has flaws. So
never meet your heroes.
Never meet your heroes, and never let them do Pan.
And I imagine that's probably why most of them signed on. They were like, "Oh shit, Joe Wright's doing the movie."
Yeah.
Like, he does bangers.
And then he put out this. Can you imagine being in the only Joe Wright movie that sucks?
I mean, that would be my luck.
Aww, Tiger Lily.
Oh, God. And I feel like I would have let them, slap a tan on me or something, too. Because they would have been like, you, live in the jungle. I'd be like, "You're so right." And, it would have gone so wrong.
It would have. You would have come out, really dark, and you would have questioned it, and they would have been like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, on camera, you're still gonna show up so pale.
Okay, I mean...
Okay, and then everybody hates me.
It's okay, Simone. You've dodged that bullet.
Oh, man, I came so close.
Yeah,
I, too, was considered for the role.
It was you or her, really, wasn't it?
Really, yeah, it was.
And she got it out just that last callback.
Swept the legs out from under me.
Ah, what a shame. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Namaste.
Namaste to you.
And, let us never speak of it again.
Please. So, tell us about Bulletproof Monk.
Are you ready for the excitingness?
Low-key really enjoyed this movie.
It's fan
It's so dumb. And, it's perfect.
Okay, so, plot synopsis. Here we go. The monk with no name, played by Yun Fat Chow, is a Tibetan monk charged with the protection of an ancient scroll. The reading of this scroll grants the reader the power to turn the earth into a paradise, or a living hell.
So broad.
The film starts in 1940 at the height of Nazi power. And, as you guessed it, the Nazi wants the scroll. One such ambitious Nazi, named Stucker, played by Karl Roden, storms the Tibetan temple and kills all the monks. He then has a showdown with the monk with no name and shoots him. The monk falls backwards off a cliff, we are led to believe he dies, and the scroll seems to be lost forever. We fast forward 60 years. We're in Chicago, or Philadelphia, or some other unnamed big American city. We meet Carr, played by Sean William Scott. He is a pickpocket who also works at a local Chinese theater, where he practices martial arts by copying what the actors do in the kung fu films the theater displays.
That's an effective way to learn martial arts.
Is that not how we all learned?
As an instructor, Chad, I think you would know especially.
That's what I would do. If I was feeling a little hungover, I would just go in, roll in the TV, and just watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Some high school flashbacks for me.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely fantastic. So, we see him running through the underground railway station being chased by the cops. We also see our friend, the monk with no name, in this underground, and he is also being chased by men in suits. As fate would have it, these men run into each other. Literally. In a kerfuffle of chance, a young girl is knocked onto the train tracks and is trapped. Our two heroes jump in to save her and are able to get her out just in the nick of time. Monk then follows Carr. They have some banter, and then Carr steals the scroll from the monk. Carr then ends up having a weird meeting with the underground crime lord known as Funktastic. Funktastic has a girlfriend called Jade, played by Jamie King.
I had to go back and double check that I had just heard what I thought I'd heard. The early 2000s were such a thrilling time to be alive.
Funktastic! Funktastic made my life.
God.
I completely forgot about him as a character.
That accent.
And he's just so perfect.
Was...
It's perfect. And there's the fact that he refers to himself in the third person as well. It's brilliant. So we'll come back to Funktastic.
Yeah,
I'm sure we will. So, Funktastic. So dumb, I can't.
You gotta push through.
Alright, here we go. Funktastic has a girlfriend, Jade, played by Jamie King, who takes a liking to Car and helps him when he is getting his ass kicked by Funktastic. The whole time this is happening, Monk is watching and realizes that Car may actually be the one to take over the scroll, as he is starting to fulfill the prophecies. In other news, the Nazi Stucker has a granddaughter, Nina, played by Victoria Smurfit, who has been helping Stucker track down and capture the monk for the last 60 years. Stucker is very close to death now, so time is really of the essence. Hijinks ensue, Car and Jade get very close and start to have a romantic relationship. Monk and Car also get close, with Monk providing guidance and wisdom as only Asian men can do in all good martial arts films. Unfortunately, Stucker and Nina are able to track down the monk and capture him due to a betrayal by one of the other Tibetan monks of the monk order. Stucker then reads the scroll, which is printed on the monk's body. He is able to turn young again and has also got these telekinetic powers that aren't really explained. Unfortunately for him, the scroll is incomplete. Monk has memorized the last verse so that no one could have a full reading of the scroll. Fortunately for Stucker, he has built a machine that extracts memories, so he'll just use that on the monk to get the last bit of scroll. Monk is being tortured by the device. It looks like everything is going to go to shit. But then, in the final moments, Jade and Car are able to rescue Monk, and all three together defeat the one Nazi. Monk then realizes that it is not only Car, but Jade too, who has fulfilled all of the prophecies, and so each must now carry part of the scroll with them for the next 60 years, their lives intertwined by this sacred bond. The end.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. So tell me, why do hot dog buns come in packets of 10s, but hot dogs themselves only come in packages of 8?
I don't eat hot dogs.
Then you will never be able to carry the scroll.
And maybe, the answer is just sometimes human design is really dumb. And sometimes you buy a pack of rolls, but not everybody's going to have a hot dog on it.
That's true.
Like, I'm the vegetarian at the barbecue. Like, I'll bring my own
that's
veggie
nice.
hot dog. Or I'll bring some cheese or whatever.
Yeah, it's a philosophical question that really means absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
It's like the whole why is a raven different from a writing desk? Because they're different things. They're different things.
Oh no, it's why is a raven like a writing desk?
Oh, well they're not. That's the point.
They're both used by Edgar Allan Poe too much? I don't...
I mean, who gives a shit? And why are you talking to me, you crazy weirdo, bringing up these things? So, I think we should just hit it hard and hit it from the start and talk about Funktastic. Let's get him out the way.
Fucking tastic. Say what you will, but he was a very respectful guy. Jade didn't want to have sex with him, and he was frustrated about it, but he respected it.
That's nice. And,
he called her a bird, his bird, and a tart, but, that was just him being British.
And you know what, to be fair, as far as guys are concerned, that's really good.
In movies in the early 2000s, unheard of.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think that Funktastic could have carried the scroll, and he would have done a great job.
He would have been, weirdly angry about it.
I've got to do this for another 60 years.
Oh.
It's going to ruin my tattoos.
Oh, I actually had a chess piece planned already.
But I like Funktastic because he's an entrepreneur. He saw an opening in the market of crime to franchise, and that's pretty amazing.
He offered some very good benefits.
Huge benefits. Protection.
Yeah. Food.
I mean, food, places to stay, safe houses. I mean, they weren't nice safe houses, but they were safe houses.
Beggars can't be choosers. And thieves certainly can't either.
And I mean, he's taking 60% off the top, which is a pretty huge...
Yeah, it's steep. I feel like you could negotiate him down, though. He seems like a reasonable guy.
He's a gentleman. He would be cool with it. I mean, he gave Carr time to think about the offer as well, which is cool. Yeah. That doesn't happen often with crime.
Is there anything that epitomizes white culture more than a dude saying that his name is Carr because it means family in Cantonese? he's told how it's pronounced properly, and he's like, well, it's my name.
Yeah, that is pretty much the widest thing that could possibly happen, especially because he chose a Cantonese name.
And he's like, I don't even care how to pronounce this. This is just what I want. I'm taking it. It's mine.
I mean, it's the demo of cultural appropriation. Like, quite literally, couldn't have been any more honest. Would you like to know my favourite line from Funktastic?
I sure would.
I'm going to do it in my best Funktastic accent.
Please.
So, I'm going to put on my fur jacket, I'm going to remove my shirt.
Yeah, he's doing it, guys.
Okay, here we go. Funktastic. Here we go. Lucky for you, this little piece of crumpet has come back asking for some of my Funktastic love. If that's not the fucking best line of all time. Lucky for you, this little crumpet has come back asking for some of my Funktastic love.
I mean, referring to her as a crumpet is not offensive, as far as I know. So, again, points.
I mean...
He's just very proud of his lovemaking abilities, and I don't doubt them.
I mean, he has confidence.
I think he's secretly a very giving and a patient lover.
He is the best of all of us. We could all afford to be a bit more funktastic, and it's a bit better to give out some funktastic love to others, really. I love early 2000s script writing because there is genuinely nothing better. The fact that she goes, fighting always gets me hot, is as a line that exists. Has fighting ever just got you hot, Simone? Does fighting make you hot?
I mean, I sweat a lot. And I guess there's a lot of, adrenaline, so you're just kind of ready to go, but no.
Like, I've never walked away from a fight and gone, you know what I could really do with sex?
Bang.
That's not a...
No, mainly I'm like, I need a shower now, because I smell like 4 different men.
Things that are both said after fights and after sex.
Depending on the life you lead. I don't really judge anyone.
Wait, we don't hate on kinks here, that's our thing.
No.
So, what was your, what apart from Funktastic, of course.
Yes, of course.
What do you love the most about this film?
I really enjoy how easy things are in this world. You can become a kung fu master if you watch enough kung fu movies.
Yes, that's right.
And you can really loosely interpret prophecies. Do the circling cranes overhead need to be birds?
Nope.
No, because I'm sure that those crane the bird and crane the machinery are homonyms in Cantonese as well.
Yeah, in the original Cantonese script.
Yes, and I'm sure you can loosely interpret the Jade Palace as the palace belonging to Jade.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a palace made of jade. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool that prophecies are flexible.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know how much prophecy law you do, Chad.
Well, I've honestly, there's sort of a general presumption when it comes to prophecies, and that's that any white man over 6 foot can fulfill a prophecy.
Bonus points if he's an orphan.
Yeah. Whether it's an Asian prophecy, an Indian prophecy, an African prophecy, it's more than likely going to be fulfilled by a white man, and they're usually the best at it.
Yes, they are the most skilled person there.
As can be seen throughout human history, that white men are just periodically better than everyone else.
Yes, and always save minorities.
Yeah. We're really good guys. We're the good guys.
You're welcome.
I don't understand why we're getting attacked so much these days. We've done nothing.
Oh yeah, white people are really under attack these days.
It's horrible. I hate it. Oh, what did we do wrong?
Oh.
Guys, we're being sarcastic. Please understand that.
Please don't get mad.
We're being really, really sarcastic. But if you are getting mad at us for being sarcastic, well, you can fuck off.
Bye! I always love, when women fight in kung fu movies, there's so many more high kicks than when men fight. There's less, straight punching, and it's all just, high kicking, flipping, and falling cutely.
That's what we expect from women when they're fighting. We don't want you to grunt. We don't want you to punch.
No, certainly not.
Definitely not. What I really thought I loved, what I do love about this film more than anything else is the fact that it is such a nice call to original Japanese kung fu movies and Chinese kung fu movies, because no one can jump that high, no one can flip that far, and it was a callback to the original sort of idea of that And it's just fun.
You know, if you don't think about this movie too much, it's pretty fun. Like, it's silly, and it's pretty much exactly the 2000s. But, like, from a nostalgia point of view, it's really fun. You're like, oh, this is the exact kind of movie I watched for most of my childhood.
Yeah, but you know what? It was a time of creativity. You know, we had original films like this, like The Tuxedo, like the Gold Medallion. All these sort of kung fu movies, you know, they were slightly different, if not exactly the same. But the point was that they had a creative niche that was so beautiful that you just don't see nowadays. All we've got now is superhero films and horror films based on Stephen King books, and that's it. It's the two. You get to choose what you go and see.
I'm really excited about both of those.
Look, I'm not complaining because I'm going to see all of them. But
yes,
you know,
absolutely.
Early 2000s films was a joyous time of creativity. You had such a spectrum from New York Minute all the way to Bulletproof, Monk. You know, it was just a beautiful era of film.
Truly. And also some of the worst. We also had the American Pie movies.
Oh my god.
The Scary Movie movies.
Oh yeah. You know, you forget about these things through nostalgia, don't you?
Oh. Eurotrip still makes me laugh.
It is problematic, but it's so great.
It's so bad. But, you know, sometimes your funny bone wants what it wants.
Exactly. And you just gotta ignore the really horribly problematic bits.
You've just gotta go, yes, that isn't correct, but also, the physical comedy here is gold.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Matt Damon singing Scotty Doesn't Know is iconic.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll fight anyone who says otherwise.
It's a beautiful song. I mean, it was everyone's ringtone for about 3 years.
It was on my running playlist for ages.
Beautiful.
I literally know all the words.
And now Simone's going to give us a rendition of Scotty Doesn't Know. Okay, cool. I think that's all we can get away with before we get sued.
It's like as flat as possible.
You know what? They'll give us the song for free just out of pity. So tell me, what's your scene that could have saved it if there was one specific one? If there wasn't.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Jade is clearly the more interesting character here.
Right?
Like, her dad is a mob boss who's in federal prison for the next 20 years. She lives in a mansion and she's, like, slumming it with this, like, really shitty, douchey, faux British gangster in the sewers.
How dare you speak words against the mighty Funktastic?
And she studies martial arts. And, like, she's so cool.
Yeah, she's amazing. And we're stuck watching the boring-ass story of Car.
Yeah, and we know nothing about her. Like, I just wanted to see more scenes of her, like, living her life. Like, what does she do?
Yeah, you have a really, really good point. I mean, you can't fault that as a...
I want to see her, like, visiting her dad in prison and being like, hey, I mean, I'm mad at you for your gang stuff, but also, I'm having some problems, and I want her dad to be, like, really nice about it, kind of.
Yeah, like...
In, like, a fatherly Russian way.
Yeah, just sort of like, you know, when I was crushing skulls and killing people, all I really thought about was your mother. Once you find true love,
exactly.
It's beautiful. Like,
yeah,
she should have been the main protagonist, not Car.
She's way more interesting, and she's got a real name.
That she didn't choose for herself, unless she did choose it for herself, and she was like, I just really like the color of jade.
My parents almost named me Jade.
Really?
It was on their list. It was one of the top options on their list.
Superb.
I think so.
What's
I
up?
don't feel like a Jade though.
No, you're definitely not a Jade. You're a Simone.
Sorry to my dear friend Jade. She's a Jade for sure.
You see, but that's the thing. You fall into certain names, and I think Simone suits you.
Thank you. I don't mind it. I think it works fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't change it if I were you. So, my scene, moving swiftly on, my scene
Please.
That could have saved it was, I think it should have just been better edited, and then more convincing female characters. Like, all Nina's character is sexy German lady. Like, that is it.
Yes.
Like, she, like, hits on the monk, and that's it.
I mean, even Jade, all she is like, troubled, fighty girl.
Yeah, exactly. And there just needs to be more. They're just like female characters need to be written better in this film. And just the editing, there's so much dead air half the time. And I was just like, good lord, this is badly edited.
Some truly beautiful green screening, though.
Oh, can you even?
Oh my goodness. I was like, is that real? I can't tell.
It's flawless, really, for early 2000s work. I was impressed. Oh
my god.
So
tell me about this director.
Let me tell you about this guy. This has got to be my favorite director of all time.
Okay. High praise.
There is a single reason for that. Guess how many credits this guy has in terms of directing credits?
3.
No. He has about 45 credits for directing here.
Oh, shit.
Guess how many there are for movies?
1.
I am now going to run through 90% of this list because it is just the best list I've ever seen in my entire life.
Please.
And you're going to be amazed. Okay, so here we go. Usher, My Way, music video. Mariah Carey, Honey, music video. Puff Daddy,
Perfect.
featuring Maze, Been Around the World. Whitney Houston, Step by Step. The Notorious B.I.G., Hypnotize. Puff Daddy, featuring Maze, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. Mary J. Blige, Love Is All We Need. LL Cool J, Phenomenon. Keith Sweat, Just a Touch. Heavy D, Big Daddy. Brownstone, 5 Miles to Empty. Boys to Men, 4 Seasons of Loneliness.
Boys to Men!
Blackstreet, Fix. Janet Jackson, featuring Blackstreet, I Get Lonely, remix. Janet Jackson, I Get Lonely. Boys to Men again, Can't Let Her Go. Matchbox 20, Back to Good.
Ooh.
Marilyn Manson, The Dope Show. Lenny Kravitz, Fly Away. Will Smith, Wild Wild West.
Yes!
Enrique Iglesias, Bailamos, version 3. Mariah's number 1, the Will Smith music video collection. TLC, Unpretty. Marilyn Manson, I Don't Like Drugs But Drugs Like Me. Lenny Kravitz again, American Woman. Jennifer Lopez, If You Had My Love. Jennifer Lopez again, Feeling So Good. Will Smith, Freaking It. Celine Dion, I Want You to Need Me. Unreleased version. Whitney Houston, The Greatest Hits. Eminem, The Way I Am. Jennifer Lopez again. Christina Aguilera, Eminem again. Deftones. Like, this dude is amazing. We're not even halfway through. Britney Spears is on here. Pharrell Williams is on here.
Okay,
Fucking
so
Snoop Dogg.
I kind of love that. Like,
Right?
if music videos are your niche, then just fucking go for it.
Right? He is the quintessential music video director.
And then he just had a little bit of fun with Bulletproof Monk. Good for him.
And he's doing 6 episodes of a show called Vital Signs, and then that's it. Like, that is all he's done, which is superb. Like, I love this guy.
I love him too now.
He's amazing. And
I
like,
wish him all the best.
Yeah, he just stepped out of his comfort zone. He was like, all right, let's do a movie where there's no singing.
Yeah.
And boom, perfect. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so proud of him.
Good for him.
You go, Paul Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel him. So there you have it.
Well done.
Yeah, he's my Bulletproof Monk.
Okay, final segment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm excited about. You tell me what you are not excited about.
Oh, there's so many things.
So many good trailers have come out the last week. Like,
right?
It was genuinely hard to choose, but obviously it's gotta be the trailer for Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. What?
I'm in 2 minds, to be honest with you.
Oh, you're a little nervous about it?
I've been burnt before. I think Joaquin Phoenix is going to be amazing. I think he might be the best Joker we've ever seen. And I know that's a big take.
Yeah, hot take. But look, Heath Ledger can't hold the crown forever.
No, and I think if someone was going to dethrone him, it would be Joaquin. He's so good.
Certainly not Jared fucking Leto.
What?
I'm not mad at Jared Leto specifically, like, it was artistic direction, but also, I don't like Jared Leto.
Wow. Just in general?
In general. I can't think of a single role where I was like, oh, I'm so glad I saw Jared Leto in this.
Wow, fair enough. Wow. Yeah,
I'm also not a 30 Seconds to Mars fan, so it could be just compounding.
Yeah, that's fair enough then. Yeah. Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the trailer looked amazing. The trailer looked really, really solid.
Looked crazy. I don't know, like, you kind of watch the trailer and you're like, but where is this going? Like, what?
Yeah, right?
What's
what's the angle?
All I know is I'm feeling feelings, and
I
don't know.
It is truly befuddling, and that's what scares me as well, because from the trailer it looks like it could be a callback to like the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, like that feeling of like emotional grit.
Yeah.
But also, like, it could just be a trap that we're all falling into, and I'm scared.
My sense of it looks kind of like, so you know in The Killing Joke, the Joker's whole thing is like, all that separates like us from being like him is one bad day.
Yeah.
Which, psychologically, not true. But I think the movie, it looks like it's about like his one bad day.
Yeah.
You know? And like, him just sort of go spiraling down as worse and worse stuff happens, or it all compounds.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's gonna make me sad, because I'm in, like, I mean, you know, how do you not feel sad for characters like that?
Exactly. Like, it kind of, that's what I'm scared about as well, is like a movie that sort of makes you feel things for the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me a bit nervous, but I am excited to see this film. There's no question I'm going to go see that for this film.
Oh, yeah. I might sneak some gin into the theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Or go to Lavia and get it, you know, without sneaking.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it definitely feels sort of very standalone-y, very outside of the DC universe kind of vibes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
Like, if I hadn't seen the DC logo at the end, I would have thought that it wasn't a DC film, that they had just, like, taken a Joker, and it was sort of like a French Le Joker.
It's not Nolan, right? Like, Nolan's done with all that.
Yeah, Nolan said he's not going to do any more DC
I mean,
films.
fair enough. Like, Nolan needs to move on.
Yeah, he needs to figure himself out after after Interstellar. He's got some things to work through.
Clearly. So, what do you think is going to podcast?
Right, I've got another notable mention, and I don't know if it's just because I'm feeling adorable or what, but My Spy.
Yes! I saw the trailer, laughed out loud.
Cute.
Dave Bautista is so funny.
I love Dave Bautista, and I'm so glad that another wrestler is reprising himself as an actor now.
Yes.
And it makes me so happy.
I'm so happy for him.
It's gonna be so wonderful, and that little girl seems fucking amazing. She's so funny, and Batista's great, and it's gonna be a great film.
It looks fun. Did you see the trailer also then, if we're speaking of Batista, for Stuber?
No.
It's Batista and Kamal Nanjiani. And
amazing.
So Kamal Nanjiani plays like his Uber driver while he's going around doing like, I think, hitman stuff or cop stuff, and it looks incredible. It looks so funny.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
We'll link it to the footnotes as well.
Yeah.
But,
we'll link all of these in the footnotes.
Good on Batista. Like, he's doing some great stuff.
I'm so happy for him.
But yeah, the movie that I think is going to do terribly is The Dead Don't Die. I don't know if you saw the trailer for this.
I did.
But quick synopsis of what I think the plot is about. Zombies have come back, and some hilarious men are going to do funny stuff with it. That's essentially it. Because it's Bill Murray, it's Adam Driver, and your favourite female cast member. What's her name? She was one of the Ghostbusters.
Kate McKinnon?
Kate McKinnon.
No, it's not Kate McKinnon. It's someone else.
Is it not Kate McKinnon?
No, it's not Kate McKinnon. If it were Kate McKinnon, I would be fucking thrilled, because she's hilarious.
That's true.
But I am really excited to see the dynamic between Bill Murray and Adam Driver, two actors who are so near and dear to my heart.
Individually, like, on paper, this movie looks like it should be good.
Yeah.
Like, the humor will be dry. Both of those actors are great at doing comedy and serious.
Yeah.
But I'm just...
I think it's going to be fun.
I don't know. I'm really skeptical about this one.
Like Zombieland.
Look, I hope you're right. I
mean,
but
me too.
I feel wrong about this. Yeah. I feel wrong about this. So yeah. But there we go. We've done it again, Simone.
There we are. We sure have.
And you know what? This episode was so boring.
Like all of the ones before it.
Like all of them before. Just so boring.
I feel like we sound pretty peppy already, but should we be, like, more?
I think we could do more.
Should we just do a line of Coke before we record?
I think we should do the whole podcast to the beat of... and everything that we say needs to fall into this rhythm. And then at the end...
Do you know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to listen to Hey Mickey before I record every single time.
To be fair, I was thinking of Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. Is there a peppier song?
Ooh, Hey Mickey, yeah.
Well, there you go. Controversial take, guys. What do you guys think? Hey Mickey or Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne? I mean, they're really similar in beat and everything, but
yeah,
if you think about it, like, they're actually on pretty much on the same beat and tempo.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone in there, everyone who's listening is now in their cars just going, hey, you, I don't... Yeah, I hope you... No way. Okay, we can't. We're going to get sued. So, what are you doing next week, Simone?
I was inspired by our talk of shitty fantasy and Cara Delevingne.
Oh, no.
So you know what I'm going to do?
Oh, no, you're not.
I'm going to do...
No!
Valerian and the City of 1,000...
No, I've got exams, Simone. I don't have time for this.
This had to happen eventually, Chad.
I don't have time for this.
I'm sorry, it had to be done.
Oh, God.
What are you going to do?
So, this week, a friend of mine pointed this out to me when we were discussing the podcast, and he said that the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen got less than 40% on Metascore,
Yes!
so we get to do it. So I'm so excited.
Yes! I love
It's
this
so
movie.
good.
It's up there with Van Helsing
It's
for
so
me.
bad, but so good. And Sean Connery is a bad human being, but he's also just the most amazing human. And I love him so much. This is going to be a good one. I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I'm excited that I get to watch the movie again.
It's great. And Dorian Gray is sexy as...
Oh my god. He is very sexy.
Okay, well there you have it, everyone. We're doing goddamn Valerian.
Oh my goodness.
And...
The City of a Thousand Planets.
I like that you have to say the full name.
You have to.
And we're doing League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. How are you, Simone? How's this week been?
I am good. I just got my hair done.
You're...
I'm happy with it. It was a new hairdresser. So I had that, anxiety when my hair was, in the foils. Mm-hmm. I was like, either my hair looks bomb or it's gonna look like garbage fire. So Schrodinger's hair was the situation. But it looks good. I'm really happy about it. So that happened. Yeah. I went and saw Chicago live last night.
Ooh, how was it?
Yes, the musical was very good. It was really good. It was to the point where, we were like, oh, they were definitely, lip syncing over a recording while they danced. Because it was really well sung. And no lip syncing. They just... are talented individuals.
That's the dream.
Yeah. And then I got a job interview on Wednesday.
Oh, we're all holding thumbs.
Thanks. By the time this airs, I'll have done it.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean,
yes.
We'll keep everyone updated, a week later.
Yeah, but I'm not getting my hopes up too much. It's,
Yeah, you just got to be cool and confident. You can't be overly zealous. Yeah. But you're going to do great because you are a great human being and you're going to be absolutely fine.
I just need to prove it in the interview.
Which, is easy for you.
I always debate with jobs of whether I should bring up the podcast or not.
Right?
On one hand, it is us just swearing and talking about movies for an hour and a half. But on the other hand, it shows, we work really hard on this, random side hustle every week.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Because, I mean, how do you broach that with future employers? The fact that our first segment is, what are you drinking? And the person who wins is the person who's getting moist, riggedy wrecked.
Luckily, a lot of the places that I've interviewed at least, are startups, or they have a startup culture, so they're fun. So I just sort of mentioned it, listen, we do swear in it. But it's only if it comes up, if they're asking for experience or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm always debating. I'm
No, I completely understand you. It would not work in sort of the profession that I'm going into if I went to a law firm or a chambers and they're just oh, so what do you do on the side? Absolutely nothing.
No, I read. Read case law.
I sit pensively and scratch my chin. Yes. That's what I do.
Yes, and listen to law podcasts. And by that's podcasts, I mean true crime podcasts.
Yeah, and by true crime podcasts, I mean My Favorite Murder and nothing else.
Oh, how's your week been?
My week has been slightly stressful. As I mentioned at the top of the podcast, I have 28 days till exams. It still is, a decent amount of time, but, it's exams. And, kind of... a lot was writing on these ones because, it's the start of, getting a job and whatever and, the legal profession and whatever. So I do want to do well and stuff. So that's kind of just been my sole focus for, the last couple of weeks and stuff. But this weekend I did go and visit Gray, friend of the podcast, for his birthday. And we did an escape room.
Oh, happy birthday, Gray.
Yeah, it was lovely. And it was amazing. I love escape rooms. I can't get enough escape rooms.
Yeah, they're
so much fun. And and then we just hung out and it was really, really a good weekend to just chill. So yeah, overall, good week. Just studying hard, trying to kick these in the butt and win at things.
Nice. Yeah, you'll do fine for your exams.
Thank you. I do hope so. So, thank you everyone for listening. Where can the people find us, Simone?
Yes. So they can follow me on Instagram at simone.le.rux. They can follow the podcast at It's Not That Bad 1 on Facebook and Twitter, and at It's Not That Bad Podcast on Instagram. And they can email us at It's Not That Bad Podcast at gmail.com.
Whoop whoop. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Chatspeed1993. You can also find me on Forge and Flimp for our amazing articles, short stories, and poetry. And you know what? As we say at the end of every episode, we love you. and there's nothing you can do about it. How did we do that? That was amazing.
Look at us.
Ah, goodbye.